Church Everywhere. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Brian. And thanks for letting me help with Church Everywhere today.
Yeah, of course. We're so glad to have you.
Okay, good, because I brought some notes.
Oh, okay. Notes? Like what kind of notes?
Well, just some pointers on making Church Everywhere even better, I think. And really, it's some advice from the greats.
Okay, I'm game. Let's hear it.
Buy low, sell high.
Okay. All right.
Always look both ways before crossing the street.
What? Brian, I don't...
A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Okay, so those are just sayings and maxims, and they don't have anything to do with this. They're not really helpful here.
Oh, right. Well, I was trying to add a little wisdom, so I thought those proverbs were a good place to start.
Okay, but I think wisdom is more than what you say, right? You know, this actually kind of reminds me of the Louis Zamperini story. You know that guy? They made the book and the movie Unbroken about him?
That's the story about the Olympic athlete who went to war, got stranded in the ocean, then caught by the enemy and was stuck as a POW for years, but never gave up and showed grace and love and grit all the way through.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Check out this clip from behind the scenes of the movie.
Over the 4th of July weekend, the flags of the city flew at half-staff to remember a man we call
our hometown hero. And now we're here today to celebrate the life of Louis Zamperini.
I was actually on my way to bed on the night of July 2nd, and I heard my cell phone make a little noise and decided to check that last message, and it was Louis' daughter Cynthia telling me he had passed away that night. And I got down on my floor and had a good long cry about it. And I felt almost surprised that he had died, even though he was 97 years old, because he seemed immortal. And not just because he had faced death over and over and found a way through every time, but because his spirit was so strong, so vital, that it seemed immortal.
My grandfather has been a lot of things to a lot of people. He's a testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. But to me, he's always just been my grandpa, the loving, kind, and generous man who went above and beyond to give me a chance at a better life than he had, and the wisdom to be a better man than he was. That's a tough act to follow.
While my heart is indeed broken, we won't get to see Louis on the red carpet. His spirit and love of life will remain unbroken for eternity.
The last time I talked to him before he passed away, I said, "Dad, you're dying today, but your work continues, and his story is being told to millions and millions and millions for years to come."
I brought the film to the hospital the day before he went to ICU, and it was amazing. It was amazing because it was looking at this beautiful, beautiful face of this 97-year-old man with this still sparkling, beautiful blue eyes, and showing him his life. When he first saw the planes, it starts with the planes, and he saw Donald, and he said under his breath, "Phil." And I thought, oh, Phil. He remembers Phil. Like, it had nothing to do with whether or not I did a good shot or whether or not the movie's great. He was just seeing Phil. And when the flak went off, he jumped and had a reaction because that was the war he was in, and he remembers those days. And when he was running, when he watched himself running, I can't explain what that, I felt so privileged to be witnessing this moment, watching somebody who's at the end of their life, watching himself be at the peak of his physical ability and seeing himself with his brother, who, you know, in Louis' mind, he was a very, very devout Christian and believed as soon as he passed away, he would be with Pete again and his mom and dad. And so to watch him reflect and kind of visit with them and remember their times together right before he was preparing to be with them in heaven, it was extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
The ending of that interview with Angelina Jolie is pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, and she talked about the strength of his faith. Did you catch that? I love it because she's actually talking about a faith that she understood through his actions. You know, his whole life story was one long example of what it looks like to live life as if you really did believe that God was real.
And she saw that right up until his last days. You know, there's a quote in that book. People had long conversations with him, only to realize later he hadn't spoken.
People listened to him because they paid attention to what he was doing, even when he wasn't saying things out loud. And we heard it right there in the video. People found him incredibly wise because of how he lived, and not just what he said.
And you know what? Wisdom, real wisdom, isn't really about what you say. It's about what you do. And when you come across someone living life wisely, you pay extra attention.
I know when we need wisdom, we look to all sorts of places, but this story helps remind us that actions really do speak louder than words.
All of this matters because all of us are always looking for sources of wisdom. We're all struggling to find truth and examples of how to get through the challenges we face in our lives.
And you know what the world is looking for? You know what the world needs? What the people all around us, the people all around you, what every one of us needs?
We need those people whose lives reveal wisdom. We need examples of faith and love and patience and joy and peace. We need to see that God is real. We need to see how to live in the midst of hard questions and difficult challenges.
And you know who God has put here to meet those needs and answer those questions? This is the job Jesus has entrusted to the church. This is the job Jesus has entrusted to us, to me. This is the job Jesus has entrusted to you.
God's called us to know Scripture and then to reveal His wisdom through our lives so that when people are struggling for answers, they can see God present in our lives.
So go be the church, study Scripture, embrace God's call in your life, and invite others into your life so that they can experience and see firsthand God's wisdom.
Remember, you're not just an online worshiper. You're the Everywhere Church, and you're not in this alone. So if you need help knowing how to find or reveal wisdom or how to form the church around you, email us.
Connect with us if you need support, and we'll see you again soon for another episode.